Please welcome Emmy Award-winning broadcast journalist and trial attorney extraordinaire, Manny Medrano, as our MC this morning.
Ladies and gentlemen, could I ask you to take your seats? Thank you. Good morning to everybody. My name is Manny Medrano. I'm a white-collar criminal defense lawyer and a TV legal analyst for various media outlets. Thank you so much for joining us for this event this morning. Richard, I think 400 to 500 folks at least in here today, and over 600 folks are registered. So thank you all so much for this. Now, if I could ask you to stand, because the colors are going to be presented right now. So if I could trouble you to stand, colors will be presented by Hometman, Pasadena, Azad, Ahmad, and that'll be immediately followed by our national anthem, which will be sung by the Elliott Magnet Arts Academy, Reverend Sandra Olawan. Thereafter, then we'll provide the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets went black, the bombs bursting in air, yet proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
You may be seated. As we gather this morning, we each name and come before the one that we call holy in a way that both speaks to our own hearts and our particular walks of faith. So I invite us then in a spirit of reverence and honor that is befitting of the traditions out of which we all come, that we might join our hearts together in prayer. Gracious God, source of all that is good, gracious and loving, we gather in gratitude for the multitude of blessings that we know in our lives, not least the fact that we can sit together around these tables as people of diverse traditions, practices, cultures, and experiences, and celebrate each other. Here in this space is a small but significant sign of what the world can be when we live out of respect for one another. As we gather in peace, grant us the healing of nations that bring forth justice and compassion, mercy and forgiveness, that the peoples of this world might see in one another sisters and brothers, a beloved family, that need and depend on one another. Give us courage in these days to recognize and speak truth to and for one another. Replace faulty assumptions, callous disregard, and hardened positions with a yearning for understanding, empathy, and openness. Unfetter our creativity and imagination so that together we might heal the brokenness that exists in our community, nation, and the world. Let your beauty and integrity ground our lives, rooting us in the things that make for life. Remind us that when we work together, learning from one another through our differences, that we are stronger and yet more flexible. We are bolder and yet more gentle. United in concern for our city, we can face the difficult challenges before us with hope. As we share this morning in the bounty of the food at our tables, quicken in us the desire to see that all in our community would experience food enough to eat. Bless the hands that planted and harvested what is before us today, those that transported and prepared it, and those who bring it to our tables. Heal our hearts of all that stands in the way of our working together to shelter and feed, to clothe and care for those in need around us. Let us not grow complacent when some have too much, while many go without. As we feast in fellowship this morning, we praise you, we bless you, we thank you, and we call you holy. Amen.
Good morning, good morning. I hope that 7:30 start time was much better for everyone this year. On behalf of the Board of Directors, staff, and our most vulnerable neighbors, Friends Indeed would like to welcome you to the 43rd Annual Pasadena Mayor's Interfaith Prayer Breakfast. We are truly blessed to be part of the Pasadena community. Friends Indeed is humbled and honored to serve this great city of ours, whose mission is to alleviate homelessness and poverty within our community. One of the responsibilities of the board chair is to express thanks to the many supporters of Friends Indeed and the prayer breakfast. Thank you, Mayor Turnick, and the City of Pasadena for your endearing support of this community event. Thank you to the Breakfast Committee for your vision and hard work. Hosting an event of this magnitude could not be realized without the generous support of our sponsors. I want to especially say thank you to the Pasadena Star-News, the Tournament of Roses, and the City of Pasadena for being premium sponsors this year. But most importantly, I want to recognize our two amazing co-chairs, Camille Levy and Maria Turnick. Can you stand or wave and give them a big round of applause, please? Thank you for being our guests, and I hope you enjoy this memorable morning. Thank you.
Well, folks, we have a packed room today, and it is our pleasure to be host to so many dignitaries who are in the audience with us. Now, I'm going to mention a few folks. Please hold your applause until everyone stands and has been recognized. We are pleased to welcome this morning, among other folks and dignitaries, the Pasadena City Council members, the Pasadena Interim City Manager Steve Mermel, numerous department heads for the City of Pasadena, representatives of the boards of our fine educational institutions, which include Pasadena City College and the Pasadena Unified School District, representatives from the United States Congress and the state legislature, the West Hollywood City Council, and Supervisor Michael Antonovich. Would you join me in a warm welcome to the various dignitaries this morning? It is now my distinct pleasure to welcome up here our mayor. But before I do so, I have to give you a quick apology. I'm a trial lawyer, and I have a federal court appearance this morning, and as any trial lawyers in the room know, you can't keep a federal judge waiting because they get really, really angry. So I will be leaving just a little earlier this morning, but again, thank you so much for joining us. If we can have now our mayor of Pasadena, Terry Tornick, come up to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you all for coming. Thanks for the introduction. I'm honored to join you here this morning and delighted to extend a cordial welcome to all of you, and there are a lot of you, gathered here to commemorate the National Day of Prayer. This event has a 64-year history nationally, 43 years here in Pasadena. And I would like to recognize Dolores Higginbottom this morning. Where is Dolores? He's out there. Dolores, who many of you know, was instrumental in organizing the first prayer breakfast and has faithfully attended this event for 43 years. She has a better record than any mayor or president. The purpose of the annual Pasadena Mayor's Interfaith Prayer Breakfast is to gather the community on or near the National Day of Prayer with its civic, business, religious, and educational leaders under a faith-based umbrella to seek spiritual guidance and blessing for our city and its people. Pausing for fellowship and prayer, a kind of community-wide meditation designed to help us all to renew our commitment to peace, to economic and social justice, to civil liberties, to our environment, and to human rights. Our task is to focus our city's strengths to face these sometimes daunting challenges. Happily, I have confirmed during this first year, actually 1 year and a day, serving as your mayor, that our strengths are many. Our diversity and the honest debate that it engenders, the energy of our many nonprofit organizations and their volunteers, the ingenuity of our businesses, the intellectual capacity of our institutions, and of course the power of our faith-based community. Together, there is no challenge too great for us to face. To those of you who I've known for some time, my thanks for your continuing support. To my many new contacts, thank you for your patience and your willingness to help me acquire the information and skills to better serve Pasadena. I must offer special thanks to Friends Indeed for their extraordinary work in our community, serving our most vulnerable residents, and for organizing this event under the leadership of Camille Levy, Maria Tornick, Richard Chung, and Donna Burns. Thanks also to the Committee of Community members who gave generously of their time and talent to help organize this breakfast, and to my tireless community liaison, Rhonda Stone. It is also wonderful to see so many friends and faith leaders including in the program this morning. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. I'm really overwhelmed by the turnout today, and I must tell you that I know that it's primarily a tribute to Rabbi Gross, who I'll introduce a little bit later, but I can't help but enjoy basking in his reflected glory. Thank you very much.
This morning, we of many faiths stand together as one. So I invite you to take a moment of stillness, according to your own faith-based tradition, to give thanks for this moment in time when there are no barriers, only celebrations. And let us now bless this food unto the nourishment of our body, and this company unto the nourishment of our souls. Amen, and amen, and amen.
Now I know why y'all are here. Breakfast is now going to be served, all right? And then we'll start our program again shortly. Thank you.
My name is Maria Elena Juarez. I'm an employee at Friends Indeed. Came from homelessness and struggled with addiction and alcoholism, and it was a really hard time for me. But I broke through the obstacles that were in front of me.
We have many programs here at Friends Indeed that help the homeless and the low-income families. Outstanding in everybody's vision is the food pantry that's open 2 days a week.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we're open from 10 to 3. Those are the only days that we are open to the community. And we will have between 230 and 250 families come through here on that day. And that represents more than 600 people.
I have a lot of fond memories of the women's room. There's a lot of camaraderie there, and there's a great deal of friendships that I've made, and they've helped me out a great deal.
I've seen Maria Elena mellow down and have the sweet disposition that she shows to everyone. And to see her make that transformation, that's major, that's great.
I used to see things as black before and think of doom and whatnot, chaos. But it's more peaceful. I have more of a peaceful mind, and Friends Indeed is help us to do what we can't do alone, to help others and achieve things that, you know, we wouldn't be able to do by ourselves. My name is Maria Elena Juarez, and I work at Friends Indeed.
It's my privilege to introduce our keynote speaker this morning, and he is, as you know, a community icon. Rabbi Marvin Gross is deeply loved for his devotion to helping other human beings help themselves. He started his career as a congregational rabbi, and in 1995 became the chief executive officer of Union Station Homeless Services, a full-service, non-denominational center for the homeless in Pasadena. During his tenure, Union Station has been able to focus not just on individuals, but also on families. His compassionate wisdom has enabled Union Station to help thousands of people improve their lives and live their lives with dignity. We are all so grateful for his leadership and gather here today in record numbers to learn from Rabbi Gross before his pending retirement next month. My grandfather would describe Rabbi Gross as a tzaddik, a righteous man. I would describe him as a mensch, a solid citizen. Please welcome Rabbi Marvin Gross.
Mayor Tornick, there were times that my grandfather would describe me as a wilde Haie, which is wild beast. So, Supervisor Antonovich, Mayor Tornick, our city council members, the many city officials here today, distinguished clergy, and ladies and gentlemen. My friends, it is my great honor to be here with you this morning on National Prayer Day as we affirm our love and commitment to this great city that we love, and that is our home. And enhancing the life of the city, our city, through community service is what I want to speak with you about today. However, in addition to being National Prayer Day, today is also Yom HaShoah, Holocaust Memorial Day. So I think that it's just fitting that as we remember and recall the importance of serving our community, we also keep in mind for this day what can occur when a society becomes wholly bereft of the values of inclusiveness, service to others, kindness, and mutuality. A most astute observer of American society has written, Americans of all ages, all conditions and dispositions constantly form associations. There are associations of 1,000 kinds. There are associations of religious, moral, serious, feudal, general or limited, enormous and tiny. Americans make associations to provide entertainment, establish seminaries, construct churches, disseminate books, build hospitals and schools. The most democratic society on the face of the earth is that which men and women have carried to the highest perfection, the art of pursuing in common the object of their common desires, and have applied this science to the greatest number of purposes. Now, these observations were not made recently. They were made back in 1840, 176 years ago, by Alexis de Tocqueville, a French sociologist, in his book, Democracy in America. As he toured America, de Tocqueville saw the beginnings of what we know today as the giant civic, religious, and nonprofit sector that exists in this country. Every day, millions of Americans engage in voluntary activity to serve their communities. Every day, millions of Americans perform community service in response to a huge majority and multiplicity of issues and needs to a degree not seen anywhere else in the world. In fact, last year, 63 million Americans volunteered 8 billion hours with a B, with an estimated value of $184 billion. Yes, of course, volunteerism and community service exist in other countries, but it is what we do here in this country every single day that sets the global standard. Others have learned from us. And I would venture that almost everyone here today volunteers, has volunteered, or is associated with an organization that relies on volunteers. If I could see you amidst these lights, I'd ask you to raise your hand, and probably everyone would. With over 1,000 nonprofit agencies alone in Pasadena, de Tocqueville would be proud. So why do we do it? Why do Americans of all ages, of all walks of life, of all locales, devote so much time and energy to volunteering and serving their community? It seems to me that many of the reasons are self-evident. We volunteer and serve our community because it's the right thing to do. Our actions have real benefit because they meet genuine needs. Some of the students among us volunteer to satisfy requirements of their school or university. That's fine. That's wonderful because real education occurs out in the real world in addition to the classroom. In addition, we volunteer for our community because such activity gives us a sense of our own agency, our efficacy, our ability to be effective. Through our individual and group efforts, we are in fact able to improve lives, to bolster our community, to add to the overall quality of life of our nation. As volunteers, what we do makes a difference. De Tocqueville said that in the young democracy he saw in his travels here, average people were able to form groups and associations to make possible what in other eras and societies could only have been performed by the wealthy elites or aristocrats. By contrast, in our democracy, by voluntarily working together, we normal, everyday Americans can provide great benefit to our communities in manifold ways. What we choose to do together in service to our community does indeed make a critical difference. It works. It's important. It has value. It has impact. It's real and it endures. Further, it seems to me that community service builds character. Especially for our younger volunteers, it teaches compassion by exposing them to new and often difficult situations. To young people their own age who have cancer, to young kids without enough to eat, or lonely seniors in need of a friend, or abandoned, degraded landscapes that need cleanup and restoration, and on and on and on. Community service opens the eyes and widens the horizons to an endless array of issues, needs, and causes that mark our society. From what I've seen at Union Station, engagement with such issues makes an impact on volunteers of all ages that lasts a lifetime. Indeed, if parents want to teach their children to be caring, sensitive persons, aware of the world they'll inherit as adults, they will ensure their children perform community service. Some say they want to engage in community service in order to give back to society for the benefits they've received along the way. Certainly, feeling gratitude and desiring to reimburse the community for advantages one has obtained is laudable, worthy, and correct. However, there's something about the giving back motivation that never felt quite right to me. That's because I feel that folks should give to the community regardless of how much they've received. Giving should be an early, original, primary action itself, not one that follows only after a period of receiving. One might ask, rather than spending so much time and energy serving the needs of others or the community as a whole, why not just serve ourselves? Why should there be such an emphasis on altruism or reaching out or taking responsibility or meeting needs that are not ours alone? In that vein, someone might ask me as a rabbi, didn't Hillel, the great Jewish scholar of the 2nd century CE and one of the most honored rabbis of all time, say, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? And I would answer, yes. That's what Hillel said. But don't forget what he said next. If I am only for myself, what am I? Self-interest, self-advocacy are critical. We want to raise up citizens who are able to assert their needs, take care of themselves, promote their legitimate interests. But if we are to aspire to be a caring community, we cannot allow ourselves to stop there. Our fate, our welfare, is interwoven with those around us. That's why, for example, the Salvation Army here in this community gives out the Others Award every year to demonstrate the value of serving and caring for others. And I'm so proud that some years ago, Union Station received this award from a valued community partner. And I'm so happy to know that this year's awardees are Brenda and Bill Galloway, friends of us all who are generous, wonderful, and caring people. The interweaving of society is also reflected in the actions of the sponsoring agency of this breakfast, Friends Indeed, because they harness the energy of so many volunteers and supporters to help, feed, nurture, and sustain the poor and vulnerable in this city. When others are in need, the men and women of Friends Indeed are truly friends through their deeds. And that's why our revered friend and spiritual father of Union Station, the Reverend George Regas, teaches and tells us over again, we are built to be givers. Giving to others is embedded in our DNA. It is a characteristic of who we are. Serving others, working for the common good is something we are all capable of. It's not difficult. We only need to unlock our hearts. Yet at times we all succumb to the seduction of the shallow and gross materialism of our society. We are distracted by 1,000 trivialities that come our way each day, and perhaps we tend to forget our nature, that we are built to be givers. That's why I believe that community service is so vital in this particular age. For by serving others and our community, we give expression to our deepest, truest, most enlightened values. For me, as you would guess, my deepest values come from my faith, as I know they do for so many of you. So I'd like to take a moment to share with you some of the teachings of Judaism that have motivated and taught me to devote my own life to service. The first is from the Talmud. Whoever saves a single life, it is as though he or she has saved all humanity. That is, each human life is of inestimable value and preciousness. From a teaching called the Mishnah, you are not required to complete the work, nor are you free to desist from it altogether. That is, you don't have to take on the entire burden, but everyone has the responsibility to do something, to do their share. At Union Station, we can't end all homelessness, but we can help save many, many lives. From the Kabbalah, the book of Jewish mysticism, humans were created to partner with God in the repair of the world. That is, this world sorely needs fixing, and we are given the task to work with God or for God in the effort to fix it. This is the human project. From Rabbi Hillel, do not separate yourself from the community. That is, other people are important, and you have a responsibility to them. From the prophet Isaiah, in a section we read on Yom Kippur, our holiest day, is this not the fast I desire? Loosen the fetters of wickedness, untie the bands of perverseness, send the oppressed free, and break every oppressive yoke. Offer your bread to the hungry. Bring the wandering poor into your home. When you see someone naked, clothe him. Then you shall call, and the Lord shall answer. You shall cry, and he shall say, Here I am. That is, to work for social justice, to alleviate human suffering, is to serve the Lord. And finally, from the prophet Micah, what does the Lord require of you? Do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. Clearly, if we are merciful and compassionate, act justly and fairly, while conducting ourselves with humility, we will find favor in God's eyes. Taken together, all these teachings and others like them form a core belief system that forcefully compels the Jewish believer to become an ardent advocate and activist for social justice, community service, and the relief of human pain. Of course, we Jews are not alone in this enterprise. This is, after all, an interfaith prayer breakfast, for good reason. Every faith, in its own way, teaches its followers to value community service and to promote justice and loving kindness toward others. For believers the world over, this is what God expects of us. Through community service in all its forms, we are able to do what is right. We are able to act in a way that is effective, that makes a difference, that has tangible, positive consequences. Through community service, we're able to build our character by embracing actions that are helpful, sustaining, nurturing, caring, kind, compassionate, and concretely good. By engaging in community service, we're able to live out our highest and greatest, most noble moral and religious values. A woman named Kelly Roper has this to say about volunteerism. To be a volunteer, it takes generosity, a willingness to give your time to others, understanding because their lives might be very different from your own, empathy, an ability to put yourself in someone else's shoes and feel what they must feel, compassion, to truly care about making someone else's life better, patience, because the process doesn't always go as smoothly as it might, dedication, to stick with the project and see it through, generosity, understanding, empathy, compassion, patience, and dedication. Qualities we all surely possess somewhere within our souls, since we were built to be givers. It only takes unlocking our hearts. In sum, community service is a gift we give ourselves, because above all, service to others as partners with God gives ultimate meaning to our lives. And after all, isn't that what every one of us needs? To have a purpose, a pathway, a direction that leads us to the knowledge that our lives are worthwhile and that our world will be a little bit better for our having been in it. May we all do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with our God. Thank you.
He doesn't get to escape quite that easily. We have, as a token of the city's esteem and my personal gratitude for all he's done for our community and its residents, particularly its neediest residents, we have a small token of our esteem and our affection to present to Rabbi Marvin Gross on behalf of the Pasadena Mayor's Interfaith Prayer Breakfast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Marvin? One more.
Reverend Sanders. She's not taking it, she's just holding it. Rabbi Gross, without a doubt, your life, and particularly these last 21 years, will always be in our hearts. We have so much to remember you by. We at Friends Indeed wanted to give you something so you remember us. Our relationship as an organization and as individuals has enriched our community beyond words. You've touched so many lives. And so this morning we want to present you with this gift. It represents all the lives that you have touched. In particular, this is an original art piece done by one of the clients of the Women's Room who also benefited from work that Union Station has done. She and all of the brothers and sisters that you have helped throughout your life, and from our heart to yours, please remember us. Rabbi Gross.
Thank you so much. I just have to look over this way. Thank you all so much.
So this is what happens when you're a trial attorney. You get paged to federal court, and you have to leave immediately. So I will be Manny Medrano for the next minute or so. Before we close, we want to also announce that there will be a retirement party for Rabbi Gross on June 15th, okay? As you can see on the screens. And we would love to give Marvin a tremendous send-off. So please go to Union Station, their website, and RSVP, and we'll see you at Brookside here, okay? Events like this, we appreciate comments and support and volunteerism. On your table is this green card here. We would love for you to fill it out. There'll be people walking by to pick them up, and they'll ask for your information. So if you want to get emails regarding the breakfast, Friends Indeed, want to volunteer sponsor, or something to that effect, okay? At this time, I'm gonna have oh, they're already set up, I love it. Let me introduce to you Pasadena High School's Vox Vita Choir, directed by Amanda Hillig. Vox Vita. Please join me in welcoming Cantor Ruth Bergman Harris in singing a journey prayer. Cantor Ruth.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to move it to the other side. So it's really an honor for me to be here this morning, representing Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center and sharing this floor today with many other faiths. One of the things that we can always recognize is that we go, as in Jewish tradition, our rabbis put it a long time ago, from strength to strength. And this is the way Rabbi Gross has been leading his life, from one strength to another one. And now we are celebrating not only the past years that he experienced in this sort of beginning journey of his life into the next journey And I want to dedicate this prayer for the journey to Rabbi Gross, so he can hold in his heart and in his mind what he already said beautifully today, which is that our tradition reminds us that no matter what happens, we bring the best of ourselves, and we allow that spark of God that we have inside ourselves to shine throughout our different journeys in our lives. May you be blessed as you go on your way. May you be guided in a peace. May you be blessed with health and joy. May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. 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 May this be our blessing. Amen. May you be sheltered by the wings of peace. May be kept in safety and in love. May grace and compassion find their way to every soul. May this be our blessing. Amen. Please join me. Amen. Amen. May this be our blessing. Amen. Once more. Amen. Amen. May this be our blessing to you. Amen. From strength to strength. Thank you.
Before we conclude with our closing music, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day. And one thing we pride with doing this event, that we get you on time and out of here. We look forward in seeing you next year. Put it on your iPhone and your Droid phone now. May 4th, 2017 will be the next Pasadena Mayor's Interfaith Prayer Breakfast. We're going to conclude with Let There Be Peace on Earth, and we would love for everyone to stand for the singing of that performed by Vox Vida. And they're going to do it a second time, and if you want to join on and sing along with Vox Vida, you may do so. Thank you so much.
Walk with each other be with God our Creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Go in peace and live this day to its fullest.